Hello everyone and welcome to Tiana's ABDL world. So I have been a part of this community for over a decade, and today I want to talk about bedwetting, especially when it comes to individuals who have partners who are bedwetters or adults who are bedwetters, because it is a real thing that you have adults who are bedwetters. And not only are there adults who are bedwetters, you also have adults who have come to this lifestyle because of being bedwetters at such a later age that they had to wear diapers longer throughout their lives. Usually, people who are potty trained around like 5, they don't have to wear diapers at night. But if you are someone who is a bedwetter and you probably were in diapers past the age of 5, for some people they found comfort in having them and it lasted longer and until their adult years. And for some people that often meant that they found the ABDL community as a way to be a support system. So what is bedwetting? So if you really want to think about what bedwetting is, it is actually nighttime incontinence. Now, does it mean to be incontinent? Being incontinent meaning that you don't have any control over your bladder. Or for some people who are incontinent, it could also mean you don't even have control over your bowels. But we're only going to be talking about for your urinary. So for people who have wetting issues. So bedwetting is nighttime incontinence. So what does that mean? It means that at night, your body literally becomes incontinent. It does not mean that there's something wrong with that person. It doesn't mean that they have failed at potty training. It just means that for some reason, when it comes to a person's body, when it comes to bedwetting, that they are nighttime incontinent. So the scene is very familiar. Okay, individual goes to bed at night and they wake up and they find out that, oh no, my bed, it's wet, or my pajamas are wet. Oh my gosh, I just wet the bed. And for some people, this can be a very traumatic experience, especially for people who are adults. This could be something that could be very traumatic, especially if you had negative experience when you were a child with bedwetting. This could bring upon a lot of shame. So what causes bedwetting for people can be a lot of different things. One of the things that can cause bedwetting is anxiety, fear, certain medications, especially for people who have ADHD. So there are some real chemical things that are happening in someone's body that can actually be causing nighttime incontinence. And it's something that we should try to normalize. And why do I say that? I say that because it is common that people do have bedwetting issues, and it should not be associated with fear. It should not be associated with shame, and it should not be associated with those things, because apparently there is something that's medically happening that needs to be addressed for this person, for this adult, in a positive way. I mean, you don't want to go throughout your life feeling this great deep shame that I have to wear diapers. It's already traumatic, already having to go through this experience of bedwetting, but it should also still be fostered with love, caring, empathy, especially when you have a partner. So yes. So, however, there can be a lot of underlying instances and issues that are happening, like I said before. And some of those issues, like I said, that I did not mention, could be type 1 diabetes, it could be kidney issues, and also like people who have UTIs, and for some people who have had spinal cord issues. These are some other things that can also cause incontinence issues and also nighttime incontinence, but as we like to call it, bedwetting. So, however, most people may become frustrated with this. They may feel guilt, they may feel embarrassed, which could also cause for some people to have like this low self-esteem, to feel like they're not worthy, to feel like they don't. For some people, they may not feel like they deserve to even be in a relationship with someone, because like, how can I be in a relationship with someone if I can't even control what I do at nighttime, if I can't even keep my own, my own garments and my own bed sheets clean, I have to wear a diaper all night long. How can I deserve to be with someone, knowing this? Or how is it going to feel if I have to tell my partner that I have to wear a diaper or a pull-up? Are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to tell their friends? Are they going to use this against me? There are so many things that our mind will play on us because we're so afraid of what someone will say or do if they find out that, hey man, or hey girl, I have to wear diapers. And if they're going to tell anyone, if they're going to tell their friends, or, if their friends' friends are going to tell someone, it's very, very, it can be a very, very scary, scary thing. And so some people do try to find different ways to control this. Like they try to find ways about, how much they drink at night, how much, or when they drink at night, how much fluid intake they have at night. Maybe they might drink a lot of things earlier in the daytime, and then like when it gets closer to like the evening time, they're not drinking at all. And then by a certain time at night, they're not drinking anything. And sometimes those things can work, and sometimes those things may not work. And for some people who are bedwetters, you could probably try a whole slew of things, even medication, and it doesn't mean that it's going to work. These are things that might be able to work for someone who is a bedwetter, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be 100% foolproof that if you do this, that you will no longer be a bedwetter. And I think that some people try very hard to stop that, especially, when a person starts to become older and trying to be in college, if your bedwetting lasts throughout your teenage years and into your adulthood. A key note is that, when you are a bedwetter, that, it can be very traumatic when it comes to being in a relationship. It can be a very mind-numbing experience when you're dating. Who wants to tell their partner that, I have this, secret that I'm a bedwetter? Already being an ABDL or being within the lifestyle and having a coping mechanism of being an adult baby or a diaper lover, that's already like tough already. And having to be a bedwetter, which is something you cannot control, and having to possibly one day tell your partner can be very, very mind-numbing. It can be very, very traumatizing because, again, that could be something very intimate to tell someone because you don't know what the other person is going to be thinking. But this is what I have to say. If you are a partner of someone who is a bedwetter, or to someone who is incontinent, because I personally am with someone who is incontinent, this is what I have to say. You have to be empathetic. You have to be understanding. You have to be knowing that, if they are incontinent or a bedwetter, understanding that this may be something that might be a part of their life forever. And that just because someone is a bedwetter or they're incontinent or they have to wear diapers, that doesn't make up everything and who they are completely. It's just a part of them. It's no different than if your partner has asthma and they need an inhaler. It's no different if your partner has diabetes and they need insulin. It's just something a part of their everyday life. yes, diapers is a little bit differently because right away our mind associates diapers with being a baby thing. But for some people, even though diapers can be a coping thing, it can also be something medical that a person may need. So, when you are with your partner who is incontinent or who is a bedwetter, just be empathetic. If they have to put their diaper on or their pull-up on before bed, just know that they are probably 1,000 times more scared than you are. They're probably thinking about each step they're going to take. Oh my God, does she hear a crinkle? Like, you know what I mean? They're going to be thinking about all of those things. And if you have questions about it, there are ways to ask questions in a very empathetic way. There are just think about something traumatic that happened to you in your life and how you would want someone to address it for you. Think about a moment in your life where maybe you felt scared and how you would want someone to handle that situation. And that's how you should treat your partner who is a bedwetter or who is incontinent, or if they have to wear diapers. Think of how you felt in a moment where you felt vulnerable and how you want someone to treat you. Take that in and then repeat that feeling, how you want to be felt, and bring that to your partner. So, ways that you can support your partner is to remember that it's not their fault. And for you to stay calm, just stay calm. Don't get overly excited about it. Just act as though this is just part of life. Never put your partner down for having it. Even if you're angry or even if you get upset, don't put them down. It's just like if you had a partner with a medical condition, you wouldn't just put them down for that. I mean, that's something that they cannot help. Incontinence is an involuntary thing. It's something that they cannot control. If they're a bedwetter, it's nighttime incontinence. It's something that they cannot control. So if you ever get into an argument with your partner, don't put them down because of something that they can't control with their bedwetting. Be aware that your partner may have to wear diapers and pull-ups, and they may have a routine. So like we talked about earlier, they may cut off drinking at a certain time of day. They may not drink a lot of fluids in the evening time. So, understanding what their medical routine may be when it comes to their incontinence or when it comes to their bedwetting. And also remember that some adults as kids, this is very important to remember that some adults as kids dealt with some strict trauma when it came to bedwetting. There's this old reputation with bedwetting that a lot of kids were punished very harshly for wetting the bed because a lot of parents did not educate themselves on what it truly meant to be a person who actually was a bedwetter. A lot of parents believe that it was a failure in potty training. And for some kids, they were severely punished. Some kids were severely spanked, and they could have been spanked with paddles, with wooden spoons, with hands, with objects and belts, with some parents thinking that they could cure their child's bedwetting by spanking them or doing some type of very, very strong punishment. However, if you know about bedwetting is also caused by extreme anxiety and fear. So if you had if in their childhood that was their lifestyle with bedwetting, that could also have been a reason to their bedwetting, is because of all of the pressure that they felt of trying to stay dry during the night, and they couldn't because bedwetting is nighttime incontinence, meaning that their brain literally shut off at night and they had no control of what was happening. So these are some ways that you can support your partner when it comes to incontinence, when it comes to bedwetting. Some people, like I said, who are incontinent or are bedwetters, some of them have had these issues since they were children, and these are things that they cannot help. And if they are able to allow you to come into their world, just know that that's a good thing. It's such a good thing. And also know that, you know, when you are with your partner and they're having diapers and part of their routine because they're incontinent, just remember that you don't want to do more damage. You want to do good. So be a supportive partner. And also remember that, you know, for a lot of people who are bedwetters, that it can also follow an ABDL lifestyle. And you could also be a part of that community, learning about what it is to be an ABDL, actually understanding where it comes from, and like watching little YouTubes or podcasts about the ABDL lifestyle to truly get an understanding like where your partner is coming from. Because we all have to figure out ways to cope with certain things. And for some people who are bedwetters, it's just, it gradually and honestly just went into becoming an ABDL, or just finding people within that community that they can connect to. My final thoughts are, you know, for some, wearing diapers and pull-ups, it's just a natural thing for them due to medical conditions that they had in their lives. But it doesn't take away from your partner. So if you have a partner who is a bedwetter and they wear diapers, it doesn't take away from them. Even if you kind of suspect that maybe they might be an ABDL, that doesn't take away from them either. And it's okay to ask questions. And in fact, I encourage you to ask questions in a very empathetic and understanding way, and also a respectful way. And when you do ask those questions, just remember how you would want someone to ask you questions if you were in a vulnerable position. So to everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed my little YouTube video, and this will also be put up on my podcast. Hope you all enjoyed, and everyone have a beautiful, fantastic day. Bye.